Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. Whoever you are, wherever you are very, very welcome. It's the morning after the night before, and not the greatest day in Spurs history, but we did not lose. And that's got to be that glimpse, that little shining bit of light, is that we did not lose. One defeat from 6 league games. We're sitting third in the Premier League table. However, I mean, a lot of people are going on as though we're bottom 3. And it's just a little bit over the top for me. People saying Frank out. People saying get rid of Xavi Simons. And you're like, what? Whoa. Let's all take a breath. Let's take a minute. Let's take a breath. And let's all have a little chat about what it actually was. I'm starting to notice patterns as well. I could tell who it's going to be in my chat as well. Every time Spurs are not winning a game, this is absolutely shite. This manager's crap. We've got to change the manager. This is dreadful. Bring back and it's like, whoa, right? Whoa. First and foremost, let me say this. I do think that everyone went bananas over our transfer window. And as I said at the time, I don't want to be an I told you so. I don't think that this transfer window did what we actually needed a transfer window to do. Now, I know people always go, you're negative. We brought in some good footballers. For me, we did not address the key. And the key was the left wing and up front. We didn't address it. We did not address it. Now, what we did address was the right wing and the DM. We did. We addressed the right wing and the DM. But we did not address the 2 areas where I thought we were weakest last year, which was up front and left wing. Now, Xavi Simons coming in as a playmaker, clearly, I mean, that replaces Kulusevski and Maddison. So we had that at the club. So my big issue, when I'm always negative. We're seeing now that these players, will work hard. These players will be hard to beat. We've seen that. We've lost 1 in 8 competitive games under Thomas Frank. But 9 if you include PSG. If you include PSG, we've lost 1 in 9 competitive games. But he cannot turn average footballers into quality strikers and quality wingers and quality creators. Now, we're going to get into Thomas Frank. There's going to be a big chunk in this show about how he messed up. As I said last night, nothing's changed. No one is absolved of blame for yesterday. No one. Manager, player, I thought it was dreadful. It was poor. But I do feel like we're going on as though we're bottom of the table and that we've won no games of football. And I just think everyone needs to take a beat. Everyone needs to take a beat and just relax a tiny bit, right? To be fair, something my man Lubo said, beginning of the summer, Lubo said next year with Frank, there will be ups and downs because he's got a lot of work to do. And now the problem is everyone thinks we're going to win every single game of football. You've got the same fans that last year were excusing us for being 17th, saying now we should be finishing 4th. And it's like, you've got balance. There's got to be some balance that goes with this. I said at the beginning of the summer, and I fully expect this, I think we're going to have those and those in this first year. I do, especially in this first 3 to 6 months. I think we're going to have a lot of highs. I think we're going to have a lot of lows. And the problem that you've got is, again, every time a player has a good game, they are put on a pedestal. Every time they have a bad game, they are shit and need to be sold. And I just feel like at some point we have to meet in the middle with some of this. For example, let's use a few players. Richarlison. Okay. I'm going to start with Richarlison. Okay. I've got a few talking points. I'll show you what they are. One of the talking points is going to be Kudus on the left and how that experiment did not work and was changed back quickly. One is going to be about the need to get Xavi in the 10. One is about Richie and just how atrocious I'm not holding back. This guy is the worst striker I've seen at Tottenham for 20 years. He is, and when I say worst striker, I don't mean people like Vinicius Jr. that played 3 minutes here and 5 minutes there, or Llorente who was a sub. I'm talking about a number 9 who actually plays week in, week out. This is the worst one I've seen. I'm going to talk about this. I don't think this is talked about enough. I don't think this is talked about enough, right? We need a ball-playing 8. Bergvall is not a ball-playing number 8. Don't stop trying to shoehorn him in there. Stop telling me how great he is. We're going to talk about him. The boy's passing is dreadful, right? He's young. He needs time. But we've got to stop doing that thing. Boom, he's amazing. Boom, he's shit. Let him live there and let him grow. For me, we will talk about the need for an 8. We'll talk about Spence. Every time I see him at right back, he just doesn't take the opportunity. We'll talk about that. And we're also going to talk about Thomas Frank having an absolute shocker and a nightmare. I want to start with this. Look, people keep saying things to me like, yeah, there were bigger problems than striker. And I'm like, but were there? Spurs have spent the better part of 110 million, I don't know, 105, 110, 115, whatever it all adds up to, for Solanke and Richarlison. And you've bought 2 players that have had very poor Premier League careers. For strikers, they've had very poor, underwhelming Premier League careers where they haven't scored many goals between them. And then what happens is, like when Richie had that game against Burnley, everyone starts doing the usual thing that football fans do. See, this is his year. If you can keep Richie fit, there's a player in there. I mean, when we're looking at a 28-year-old and using the line, there's a player in there, surely that speaks volumes. Surely that speaks absolute volumes. Now, I'm not saying, when I have this conversation, that Spurs didn't win yesterday or did win the other day because of X, Y, Z player. I'm just talking in general, some talking points. When your centre forward is Richarlison, who spends 95% of the game on the floor, who can't control a football, hasn't got a good first touch, can't engineer his own chances, right? And even in the air lately has looked awful, you're at an immediate disadvantage. An immediate disadvantage. I'll say it again. He's actually making me, I can't believe I'm going to say this. He's actually making me look forward to seeing Solanke back. And I don't even really rate him. He is, listen, I've been a Spurs fan for 40 years now. And I'm trying to think of, I mean, back in the day, we had some shockers. Back in the day. When I look at the last 20 years, and I can't think of a worse number 9 we've had up front that starts. I can't. If I look at Defoe, Canute, Sheringham, if I look at Harry Kane, right? If I look at these sorts of footballers, and then I look at Richarlison, I'm embarrassed. It's not even about his goal scoring. If I'm brutally honest, it's not about his goal scoring. It's just, as a footballer, he's just horrible. It's really horrible to watch him play. He runs around, he falls over. As I said, his touch, his control, he never looks like he's actually bullying a centre-back for a big guy as well, right? For a big guy. But I just think that if we're going to continue with, like, Samuel, listen, dude, I unblocked you. I've given you a chance. And now you're just spamming. Stop. Dude, please stop. Please stop. I'm giving you a chance. Please stop. Please stop. I'm going to ask you nicely. I'm trying to be nicer with the people in my chat. Please stop. All you're doing is calling people a liar and a loser. Stop. Right? Right, okay, you've got one more chance, Sam. One more chance. Just relax. Just relax, all right? Problem with Richarlison is there's a reason why he's 28 and his best goal scoring season is 13 Premier League goals. There's a reason, right? There's a reason. Because he's not that good. What he does, right, there we go. You had your chance. You had your chance. I don't know how you're not listening, mate. You're going, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put you in a timeout. When you come back in 5 minutes, you've had your warning, you've had a chance. Please come back and be sensible, right? Come on, let's be sensible. We can have football conversation without everyone being called a loser and a liar and a just relax, Sam. Relax. And FCB Elite, listen, you have asked me, dude, listen, I will block you as well. You have just said to me 8 times, talk about the 3 wins in the league since November. Okay, let me try and explain again. As I said, I'm going to bring up a topic, then I'm going to talk about the topic and move on to the next one. I don't understand how people are not getting this. Please. I try and interact with the chat as much as possible, but I will stop interacting with the chat if this keeps happening. I'm one of the very few content creators that talks to you lot all day. And you're now taking the piss out of me for doing it. So please stop. So let's get back to Richarlison. Let's get back to Richarlison. I'm not making him a scapegoat. There are many issues at Tottenham, which I've said will take a long time to resolve. But all of these people that immediately, when Richarlison scored against Burnley, he's back. This is his year. And I'm like, but back from what? Like what's he back from? I don't think he's ever been here. This guy is a very average striker. And we paid a lot of money for him. He's never scored consistently at any club he's been at. And the problem is, if that's what you're going with up front and your sub-striker is Dane Scarlett, I'm not expecting a bundle of goals. I'm not expecting it at all. And yes, we've got Solanke to come back. And no, we don't know what's happening with Kolo Muani. Sure. I mean, as I said, this is one of those things that when you buy people on the last day of the transfer window, this is going to happen. You buy people on the last day of the window or panic loan on the last day of the window, a player that hasn't had a pre-season, is injured. This is what you're going to get. So, listen, I think Muani will be the best striker at the club. But at the moment, we can't seem to get him fit and get him out on that pitch. So let's hope that turns around very quickly, because this is the longest dead leg in the history of dead legs, isn't it? Unless they're just covering something up. But look, there for me is the first point. I think that we know we can't do anything about this now. We know the transfer window isn't open for a long time. But let's stop. For me, I think we need to stop rating these very average footballers. We need to stop putting them on a pedestal so easily. As I've always said, on one hand, you've got fans that we want to win, get Levy out, get Enoch out. We want the best players, pay the wages. And on the other hand, those same fans really rate Richie, really rate Solanke. It doesn't quite make sense. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine who would want to buy a player like Richarlison. So listen, it is what it is. He's our striker at the moment. Solanke, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. I mean, he's back in training. And we'll see. But again, how long is it going to take him to get fit? Are we going to see the Solanke from last season, who I think was who for me was underwhelming, if I'm honest. But I didn't want him in the first place. But can Frank get a tune out of him? Look, again, next summer, I think it's got to be a priority. I think it's got to be a priority. And I agree with you, Mapping. I do agree with you. Right? I think everybody, for me, I just think sometimes we need to just all get into a place where you go, right, do you take your Spurs hat off? This is a great game to play, right? When you take your Spurs hat off and you look at footballers objectively and not through the Tottenham lens, it's funny how we then start being honest about players. So, for example, if Richarlison played for Aston Villa or Newcastle or Arsenal, whoever, insert team, right? Everyone would be sitting here going, this guy's dreadful. He's awful. Because he plays for us, it's, I don't know. He's great. If you can get him back to foot. I just think it's not going to, it's never going to be fluid with that guy up top. He's not a technical footballer. You can see that he works hard. He runs around. It's just not right for me. Just something not right about him up front. Yeah, sure. If we want to go back, yeah, sure. Agreed, Jack. Agreed. He is. Even then, I just don't think he's good enough. I genuinely don't. I don't think any defenders play against Richarlison and are worried about playing against him. I think the three centre-halves for Wolves last night had the easiest game of their life. He doesn't do anything. Let's move on from Richarlison. Let's move on and let's talk about the manager. Let's talk about Thomas Frank, who had a nightmare. He got everything wrong for me yesterday. He got everything wrong. Yes, he can say he was trying things, and fair play. You can try things, of course. And the only way that's acceptable is if you realise after you've tried them that it didn't work. Dude, just again, can you relax in the chat, please? Can we listen, please? Can we just relax in the chat, right? We don't need, not everything needs to be rude. Please, can we just talk football? Have you noticed most of my chat just talk football? And lately we've had 3 or 4 that have been unblocked. They come straight back in and they can't have a sensible conversation. Yeah, Savva's drunk. Yes, Savva's drunk. Look, clearly very drunk here at 10:52 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Don't worry, guys. Some of the people I did unblock, we'll just block again. I've tried to give people a chance, and unfortunately, people did warn me against giving people a second chance. I tried, and unfortunately, they automatically they can't do it. They can't just have a sensible conversation. It's so weird. It's so weird. Listen, I think you got everything wrong. Now, let's have that chat sensibly. Doesn't mean he needs to go. Doesn't mean he needs to be sacked. It means there's a lot of work for this man to do. There's a lot of work for this man to do. My opinion on that has never changed. It's never, ever changed. He's had to come into a club where it wasn't good last year. It was a shit show. It was a shit show last year. And the one thing I've said is, I think fans are automatically expecting now that every game we're going to win, that every game the tactics are going to be spot on, that every game every player is going to have improved. And in football and in coaching, these things take time. However, that doesn't excuse some of the decisions we saw from him yesterday. Let's start. I think the biggest one has got to be, and I'll tie this in. I'll tie this in with that. I'll tie this in with that, right? So you've got Frank having a nightmare and Xavi in the number 10. Or not in the number 10. For me, I've always been a firm believer that if you are weak somewhere on the pitch, leave that area weak. Don't try and strengthen that area by weakening another area and then actually having 2 weak area. Okay. For me, I think we've got to get Xavi in the 10. Now, I know that leaves the left wing poor. I know. Listen, I know you've all heard me over the summer throughout this season. I don't think any of our left wingers are a Premier League level. I don't. But let's get Xavi in the 10. Let's let him build and learn and grow there. Let's give Xavi the time. Already seeing people going, Xavi's a flop. I mean, which is utterly crazy after about 3 Premier League games. Let's give Xavi some time. Let's let him play in the 10. And you can see already when he moved into the number 10 last night, don't get me wrong, he didn't have a good game, but you could see immediately when he moved into the 10, he tries to find those little pockets of space. He tries to drop the shoulder inside and drive through the middle. But him playing on the left, I don't think works. I really don't think it works. He doesn't look comfortable out there, and he's not a winger. He's played left before, but more of a link-up left player, if you will. Not a wide man that's going to beat his man, get to the byline. But for me, I think if you buy the 10, he's got to play in there. And he was asked about this last night, Frank. And I think his answer was very much along the lines of, I think he knew. Let's hope he knows. But what you've got to do is build partnerships over the pitch. And one of the partnerships that I think we've really got to concentrate on has got to be Kudus with Simmons inside. Kudus and Simmons linking up. Because Kudus has got no one to play off. He's got no centre forward that he can play off because he knows if he gives it to Richie's feet, he's not getting it back. And he's got no number 10 to get the ball off either. So for me, I think Thomas Frank, that was the first thing I think he got wrong yesterday. I think that was really poor. And for me, what I would have wanted to see, what I would have expected to have seen, would have been for Xavi to move inside, for him to move inside for the second half. But he didn't. He started the same. And that for me is where, listen, I've always been a believer. I know people have their favourites and the people they hate, and then you can't say anything nice or bad about them. For me, I want Thomas Frank as the manager. I'm also allowed to critique him, right? I think that's very fair. He got it wrong. And even then, when he made the subs, I thought to myself, okay, you've made the right subs, but then he put them in the wrong place. And I thought, no, you've not had a good game here at all, mate. You've messed this up. And that all ties into, doesn't it? Xavi should have been in the 10. And then when Xavi was in the 10, what we did was we strengthened the 10 and weakened the 7 on the right wing by putting Johnson out there instead of Kudus. And then Kudus came to the left. So now all of a sudden you've gone, we had nothing in the number 10. Now we've got the 10, but now the right and the left are weaker. And it just all felt a little bit, no dots were adding up. It just felt a little bit like maybe a little bit of over trying things. I'm all for managers trying things, but over trying and trying to do too much tinkering. And look, you know, you've got to, when you get it wrong, you've got to hold your hands up and own it. And he does, to be fair to him as a manager, he does do that. But we've got to learn. We've got to grow. Now, for me, I don't think it's this great, big, massive drama. Yeah, shit game. These happen. But we've got to make sure we don't see this more often. Okay? We've got to make sure we don't see this more often. And what appears to be a big problem for me is at home. The atmosphere seems flat. The performances seem flat. But away, we seem to have more energy, more urgency, almost as though there's no expectation away. And that's an issue. That's a real issue, isn't it? Now, it's not something that can't be solved. And I know everyone loses their mind. But look, as it stands, Tottenham are sitting. I mean, look, let's have a look. You know, everyone's losing their mind. As it stands, right? There we go. as it stands, Tottenham Hotspur are third in the Premier League table. Right? Third. We've lost one Premier League game and we're third. The only team that hasn't lost a game is Palace. So let's I think we've got to relax, first of all. I think we've got to relax. It's okay to, the game was shit. We know it's bad. But it's not been the worst start we've seen, is it? It's not been the worst start we've seen. We've not lost 2 or 3 games. We've lost 1. We've rode our luck. Sure, we've rode our luck at times. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with riding your luck. But what we've got to do, for me, is you can't give a manager 6 games in the Premier League with a team that has just finished 17th. And already everyone is jumping on his back. I think it's just a little bit disingenuous. We lost 22 games of football last season. 22. So far, 6 defeats, 1 game. Okay. 1 defeat. Sorry, 6 games, 1 defeat. Now, this isn't, by the way, me bringing this up isn't to go, oh my God, look, we're winning the league. And oh my God, we're going to finish top 4. No. Just saying. If we're going to be upset, then that means that all of the 17 teams below us are going to be upset, right? It's said it's going to take a bit of time. And I know people don't want time. No one wants to give anybody time. Nobody wants to give anybody time at all. But I feel like the fan base has become Sam, listen, dude, I've given you a chance. You're still doing it, mate. You're still doing it. First of all, I can't even read what you're writing. Right? Just relax. If you rate people like Richarlison, cool. Why are you so angry at my opinion of Richarlison? That's the question I'd ask you. Look inwards. Why are you, as a human, so upset by my opinion of a footballer? That's got to be the question you ask yourself, because every time I mention him, you go into this tirade of abuse. You have to ask yourself why. What is it that what are you upset about? If you rate him, don't worry about my opinion on him. If you rate him, don't worry. Yeah? Many rate him. Good on them. I don't rate him. The difference between me and you is I'm on YouTube saying it and you're in the chat room saying it. Sam, I'm going to talk about everyone, but you just get really, really upset. All you do is talk about Ange. It's so boring. Just relax. Honestly, I'm that close. I will get rid of you if you keep doing this. Sam, unfortunately, you're one of those people. If I say it's Sunday morning in the UK, you will find a way of telling me it's Monday morning. I don't think I've ever seen you say anything nice or polite or anything in my chat. Right? Just relax. Just relax. This isn't Ange v Frank, by the way. This isn't Ange v Frank. This is Tottenham in 25-26. This is 25-26. It's about what we're doing now. It's about how do we learn? How do we grow? And Frank will know there's a lot of work to do. Frank has told us in his own words that this is going to be a long process. Right? It's going to be a long process. We know that. Surely no one thought that Frank was going to take over and everything's going to be fixed within 6 league games. Surely no. I mean, hands up. Did anyone in the chat truly believe that? that he would have the goalkeeper, the defence, the midfield, the strikers, everything sorted, and we go, oh my God, we're amazing. I don't think anyone, I mean, if you did expect that, it's a bit crazy. And I don't think this is true. I don't think anyone thinks that Thomas Frank is the second. I don't know why these throwaway lines are being used. I don't think anybody said he's the second coming of anything. I think we've got to take a bit of time. I think it's going to take a bit of time. I don't think this is a quick fix. I think we've had many, many years of poor recruitment, many, many years without being coached properly. And it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. And the problem is everyone expects go. Like people going, he's had 4 first-team signings. Well, Xavi Simons came in after the season had already started, not fit. Colin Mawani's not been fit. So what you've got is Paulinho and Kuda. So what we've done essentially to date, until Simons gets up to speed, we shouldn't be challenging. Come on, now we're being silly, aren't we? Come on, people. We shouldn't be challenging. Did anyone really look at this squad and think we should be challenging when our strikers are Solanke and Richarlison, when our left wingers are Tell or Odeber? I mean, really, when our central midfielders are Bergvall, Sarr, Gray, Benton, did anyone really think we should be? Come on. No, we don't. No, we don't. This is sorry. I'm really regretting unblocking all the trolls now. It's just silly, isn't it? It's just silly. Thank you, a sane person. Oh my gosh, a sane person. Big up into my face, bringing a little bit of sanity back to my morning. I know the problem is all the ones that were saying we should be challenging, it's my face, are the ones that loved Ange. That's what it is. I can see it. All the people that wanted to keep Ange are the ones going, right, challenge. Really? Challenge? What, people think we've got a squad like Arsenal, Liverpool and City? Really? Come on. I just think we need to be able to get to the point where we have just like a sensible conversation. Just sensible football conversation. That's the reason I started my channel. And unfortunately, on the internet, you can't. And by the way, Mapping, I wouldn't say he's crap, but I'm never expecting my team to challenge for the league title with Vicario in goal. Again, it's common sense, isn't it? It's common sense. You don't go from nearly getting relegated to let's challenge for the league title, but we didn't buy a striker, didn't buy a left winger, didn't buy the midfielder, didn't buy another centre. It's crazy. Agreed. I'm trying, guys. I am trying to bring some sort of sensible conversation here. I'm not losing my mind. We were bad. We were very bad. We were very bad. But I think that we've got some good footballers. We've got some good footballers. But I also think we've got some very underwhelming footballers. And the problem is, in 6 Premier League games under a new manager, you're not going to suddenly go, right, let's put some very average players with some good players. Boom, boom, we're great. To be third. Look, Tottenham Rangers, I'm going to say, listen, dude, I wanted to give everyone a second chance, please. I just don't want this silliness in the chat. It's getting very silly and tiresome. So far, I've noticed that you, Samuel, certain people just can't seem to have a football conversation without being silly. Why don't you try and tell me what do you think needs to happen? There you go. I'll ask you this. Let me ask you a football question. What do you think needs to happen? What areas do you think we need to work on the most? Up front? Is it out wide? Is it central midfield? Is it our passing? What is it that you think we need to, what is it you think we need to improve on? So, John, mate, why can't we say we need to challenge? Because We shouldn't be challenging. Look at the squad we've got. Why should, sorry, at what stage should we be challenging? Is anyone looking at Aston Villa and going, they should be challenging? Or Newcastle saying they should be challenging? Ghosted, bang on. I love it. I like it. We get some sensible people in here. I really do like it that we get some sensible people in here. Right? I like it. I just think everything is an overreaction at the moment. I don't think I didn't see anyone saying Newcastle was going to challenge. How on earth should Newcastle be challenging again? Haven't got the squad for it. Again, I don't think people like you understand that it's a squad game. You've got to have a squad capable of challenging. Arsenal, Liverpool, City. These clubs have big squads. These clubs have big squads. Did Frank get it wrong? Monumentally. But are we going to have this inquest every time we don't win a game? I'm just asking because it just feels strange. It just feels strange at the moment. It feels like a lot of people can't let go of last season and winning a cup. But Dale, it's going to take time. It's going to take time, mate. We didn't buy him a striker. We didn't buy a left winger. It's going to take time. But for a team, you do realise only 2 teams have scored more goals than Tottenham this season. Surely people see that, right? It's all there. Yanni. Wayne, honestly, I find it crazy. I find it crazy. Mate, I get told I'm negative all the time, but I'm sitting here saying, can we have a little bit of calm? Can we have a bit of calm? We're sitting third in the table with the third highest goal scorers, right? We've only conceded like 0.6 goals a game or something. Like, can we just a little bit of calm? That's all I'm asking for, a little bit of calm. But there's too many. It's just too many. It's too many. Unfortunately, I've just had to start blocking people again. Guys, I tried so hard. The other day I said to myself, right, I'm going to unblock I unblocked every single account on YouTube. And unfortunately, those people, as soon as they get unblocked, they just spam and spam and spam and spam, and they never talk football. It's just too much. Ian, I know. So we won our Champions League game. We're through to the next round of the Cup. We've lost 1 in 6 league games. We drew with PSG, and we're the 3rd top scorers in the Premier League. And this is just all being blown out of crazy, crazy proportions. Paul, it's not about being over rude. It's about the spamming, right? It's about the spamming, Paul. Right? It's about the spamming and the lying. So I'm sitting here blaming Thomas Frank for yesterday. And people going, oh, stop. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. Look, I just think we need to get to a position as a football club where if we lose a game or don't win a game, it's not Simmons out. He's the worst signing ever. Frank out. It's like, whoa. These people have been at the football club for minutes. Let's let them settle in. Let's see what happens. And I know we're not in that era. But if we look at this, did anyone actually feel threatened by Wolves in the game yesterday? I mean, they scored a scrappy goal from a corner. I didn't at any point really feel threatened by Wolves. But we're not taking those positives because everyone's just, oh, we were so bad. Sure, we weren't good. It wasn't a good day at the office. But now imagine we had a proper striker, a proper left winger. Now imagine we had a ball-playing midfielder, right? How different do things look? So can we give the coach time to coach? You can't give a coach 6 games and go, this is dreadful, he's terrible, sack him, he's the worst thing ever. Coaches don't, boom, 1 game, ta-da! Come on. And this is the equivalent of what Liverpool fans, I don't see Liverpool fans going, Arnie, slot out. Sure, but that's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. I didn't talk about us going forward. I said at the back. 6 games. He's had 9 competitive games as Tottenham manager, by the way. 9. Right? And lost 1. 9 and lost 1. And you're right, Rob. Absolutely right. Thank you. We've suddenly got some sensible people. If you can't win, just make sure you don't lose. Because, Dale, it's about picking up points. Dale, you've got to pick up points. You can talk about, this is what I don't understand. You could talk about creating clear-cut chances, but managers have to pick up points, don't they? If you don't lose, if you're not going to win, don't lose. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make the performance great, but would you rather have had all the chances Forest had yesterday or the point that Spurs got? But it's not, is it? It's not a loss. It's a difference between 1 point and none. Mark, absolutely. Isn't this funny? Isn't it funny? So again, Spurs 9 injuries yesterday. No one mentions it. Now, I don't mention it because I always think the injury excuse is a bit silly. But 9 injuries, no one mentions it. I just feel that what Ange is doing at Forest is nothing to do with what's going on at Tottenham Hotspur. People need to separate. Yes, Wolfie and I have a bit of banter on a Friday morning with the Ange management, which is more aimed at him because he didn't want Ange and got him, right? But it can't be, did you see what our Forest played? Did you see the chances they had? It's got nothing to do with Tottenham, really, has it? Nothing to do with Tottenham. So I think we need to kind of remember who we support here. Because at the moment, it doesn't feel like a lot of people are Tottenham fans. It feels very much like they want to be Manager FC fans. As I've said, I want Thomas Frank as manager. That doesn't mean if it all falls apart over the next year that I agree with him staying as manager. But right now, he's lost 1 in 9 competitive games of football. 1 in 9. Imagine that. 1 in 9. I haven't seen anyone justify it. Again, so when I said earlier, pull 1, 2, 3, when you're in here, this is what annoys me. No one justify. This is what I haven't seen anyone in my chat justifying it. It was dreadful. Should have won. Should have won. No ifs, no buts, no maybes, no excuses. We should have won. That's not justifying. No randomer. No randomer. That's not justifying it. That's just football. If you have a shit game and don't lose and don't win, at the bare minimum, make sure you don't lose and get that point. And that's what Spurs did. That's not honestly, I'll tell you what, I feel like I'm speaking to kindergarten at times. I genuinely feel like, I've said it before, this microphone here is like a magic mic. The words that come out of my mouth suddenly change between here and there. And then when they go through the internet into speakers, I'm apparently saying different things. And agreed as well. Joshua, mate, it is It is hard work, isn't it? Nowadays, the problem is if somebody like me sits up here and tries to rationale a game of football or a football club, where's your standards? Well, my standards are that I want better than Richarlison, Odegaard, Tell, Bergval, Gray, Sarr. But when I say that, I get told you're negative. Which one is it? Is it negative or is it standards? I'm really not sure what is allowed to be said anymore. Right? Let me try and simplify this for the people at the back that don't quite hear so well. Yesterday was a disgusting performance. Yesterday sits at the feet of Thomas Frank. It's his responsibility as manager. The same way it was for Ange, the same way it was for Conte and Jose and yada, yada, yada. But that doesn't mean that because we had a bad game and the manager messed up, that everyone should start going, oh my God, look, the world is falling apart. Oh my God, the manager's got to go. Oh, 1 defeat in 9. Now, notice that is not me justifying yesterday. That is me separating yesterday's game, the micro, from the season, which is the macro. The macro, as Lubo always says, the macro is that Spurs have lost 1 game in 9. The micro is that yesterday was absolutely disgusting. 2 things can exist at the same time. 2 things can exist. We were shit. I don't understand what you don't understand. We were shit. I genuinely don't understand you right now. This has got to be trolling. We were shit. We should have won. I don't understand how you can't hear what everyone's saying. I don't understand what you can't understand about that. We were awful. There's no excuses. Tell you what, Nige, what a great goal. And what a great signing, by the way. Now, this is the level of footballer I want at my football club. This is who I want at my football club. I want Paulinhas, Kuduses. That's what we need. Senior pros, been there, seen it, done it. Top quality in their position. That's what we need. What a good signing this was by the club. And I really hope they make this permanent. And this is exactly why everyone asked me all summer, who's your number 1 to play DM? Paulinho. Said it all last season when he wasn't playing for Bayern. Go get Paulinho. Because this guy is top drawer at what he does. This guy is top drawer. His tackling is superb. His desire to tackle, his desire to win the ball is brilliant. His passion when he scored. I'm even seeing people having a go at over-celebrating. What was wrong? I think he realised, God, we've had a bad game here and we've had a bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card. Get out of jail free card is what we got last night. And this guy made it happen. Big up to you. Yeah, Nige. Really, really good player. Really, really good player. I'm going to say this. Oh, Jamie, it is tough. It is tough. It is tough because unfortunately, you got people like this. As I said, if I say it's Sunday, this guy tells me it's Monday. I say nothing wrong with celebrating. He says it's embarrassing. I like Frank. Frank's rubbish. I could say anything right now. Right? I could say anything right now. And people like this, they just come into the chat and they just want to be the opposite. And that's why YouTube is difficult at times. Because you can't have a sensible conversation. You just can't have a sensible conversation. Look, I know. Not sure you do, my friend. I've got no problem with you, by the way. Right? No, randomly, you miss it. Oh, this guy just doesn't understand context, but never mind. He does not understand context, that guy. Look, just because I want Thomas Frank, I knew as soon as we started losing yesterday, everyone rocks up, your manager. Isn't it our manager? Isn't it our manager? Aren't we all Tottenham fans? Now, until this manager does something that makes me go, he's got to go, this is our manager, isn't it? This is our guy. Now, what I would say is this. If anything's going to sum up our fans and what I saw from my comment section yesterday to our comment section last Saturday, is this. Last week, Xavi Simons. He comes on as a substitute in the second half. He changes the game and he looked brilliant. And all of our fan base, what a guy, what a player. This guy, God, he's got to play. God, he's got to start. God, he's got to be number 10. Yesterday, didn't play well. What a flop. What a terrible signing. Can't believe we signed him. Should have got Paqueta instead. How can the opinions change so much from one game to the next? It's gone mad. It's gone absolutely mad. Xavi Simons came to Tottenham Hotspur just before the transfer, on the last couple of days of the transfer window. Right? Couple of days of the transfer window to go. Immediately there's an international break and then he's thrown in. And go on, be brilliant. Perform like a seal. Be brilliant. From minute one, be brilliant. Oh, you're not brilliant. You're a flop. Get out. Get out. You're a flop. You're a flop, Xavi. Get out. What? What are we doing here? He was brilliant against Brighton. And he struggled yesterday from the left. That's okay. What we've got to see is we need to see start getting 90 minutes, more minutes in his legs, get him used to the Premier League, and take it from there. And no, it's definitely not a Wolves top I'm wearing. Wrong colour for Wolves as well. Romeo, I get it, Romeo. Every one of your comments is about Ange winning a trophy. Please. All right, we get it. We get it. You like Ange. We get it. Dude, we get it. But it's next season now. He's not here. Can we talk about something that's not that? Please, can you just I'll ask nicely, please. This has been real hard work this morning because of people like you. It's really, really hard work. Jason, I completely agree with you, my mate. I completely agree with you. I would say the answer is weak. Romeo, I'll give you one more chance, my man. One more chance and you're going. Just stop. Again, look, stop. Dude, we're talking about Spurs last night. Nothing to do with Ange Postecoglou. You are a Tottenham fan. You are not an Ange Postecoglou fan. You are a Tottenham fan, I hope. Talk about Tottenham. A left winger and a striker. A left winger and a striker, my man. Fundamental. You can't go into a Premier League season with this group of wingers and this group of forwards. You can't. You can't do it. You just can't do it. Can't. Agreed, Damon. Agreed. You can guarantee you those same people complaining will flex that we're third to Arsenal fans if they lose today. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this is it, Darren. I think this is it. I mean, can't we say, listen, I'm not an Ange fan. Everyone knows that. Can't we just say thank you for winning the Europa League? And we move on. And now Thomas Frank is our manager. Unfortunately, I've seen it. All the people that just constantly going at Frank are all the same people that didn't want Ange to leave. It's as though they can't shift their mind from, all right, I'm annoyed that Ange went, but this is the new manager. And it's almost like they're waiting for him to lose. They're waiting for him to lose. And he's lost 1 in 9. 1 in 9. Mario, I agree with this. Mario, I agree with that. That would be something that he desperately needs to change and sort out, doesn't he? When we have gone behind, we have looked, other than Brighton, you would say, other than Brighton. Of course, no one's above criticism. Of course, I agree with you. Hence why we put this up. Frank had a nightmare. It was dreadful. I think one of the problems we have, right, is I think there's this notion in the world these days because people get one opinion in their head and then they can't pivot one way or the other. So what you see a lot is people who go, right, Savva likes Thomas Frank. Fine. Why aren't you blaming Frank? Well, I did blame Frank. I thought Frank got it absolutely wrong yesterday. But you need to blame him more. Well, what do you mean? I can't blame him more than blaming him. I'm blaming him fully that's the problem. It's the same thing as last year. The people that loved Ange, it didn't matter if you lost week in, week out. There was an excuse. It's okay to turn around and go, do you know what? I love this guy, but he got it wrong. Or I don't rate this guy, but he had a good game. I think that's what's more important. Spurs finish 4th and Forest win the Europa League and finish 17th. Would you shake on that? What do you mean would I shake on that? I don't care what Nottingham Forest do. I don't know why we're doing this. I am not an Ange Postecoglou fan. I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Why can't... Listen, we will look at Forest results. Of course, there's going to be the banter between the two clubs and the fan bases. Wolfie and I have the banter because of the banter last year when Forest were very good and Spurs struggled. So I think we need to get to this state where, and I know we'll never get there, where it's okay to say two things can be right. Yes, I like the manager. Yes, he got it wrong. No, I don't like the manager. Yes, he got it right. It's okay. It's all right to do that. Richarlison, I don't rate one bit. Great game against Burnley. Sure. Van de Ven, who I really like. I'll happily say I think Van de Ven yesterday I thought was pretty poor. I don't think he was very good on the ball. He's passing out the back. It's okay to say that. It's okay. I don't think it needs to be, this is the guy I like, and I'm going to die on this hill. I am going to die on this hill for them through thick and thin. Carlos said, does anyone really believe that Marinakis lets Ange stay in such poor league fight? Listen, I don't know what Marinakis is going to do. Listen, I'll stick up for Ange here, right? Ange has been, I'll stick up for him. He has been at Nottingham Forest for 5 games, right? 5 games. If they're like this, if they're not winning any games after 10, 15, questions will be asked. But he is 5 games into his tenure. And I'm a huge believer that you need some time. You need some time, right? Is it funny from the point of view I can banter with Forest fans? Yes. But I'm not going to turn around and go, oh my God, they should sack him immediately. Are you Ange out? Are you all... That's just banter. Like, that's just banter. But like, I messaged Wolfie last night. He was mocking me for how shit Spurs were. And I messaged back and said, oh, you Ange out? Yeah, you know, that's just a bit of banter. But in reality, if we're going to be sensible about this, he's had 5 games, hasn't he? Yes, as a football fan, if I take my hat off, it's not been a good start for him. But he's going to need some time. What I will say is it's always more difficult when you have a bad start to your managerial, to your new team than a good start. So at Spurs, he had a very good start, didn't he? This is now the opposite for him, and it's going to be interesting to see how he tweaks and adapts and reacts. They've got some tough games coming up, but you know what? I'm not a Nottingham Forest fan, people, if you hadn't noticed. There's a lot of questions to me about Ange and about how is he going to do. Listen, if Forest, if Forest, if Forest win a trophy, Forest win a trophy. If Forest get relegated, Forest get relegated. If they finish mid-table, it's not my football club. I would take Forest beating Frank home and away and losing every game. Again, so you're not a Spurs fan, are you? Okay, so you just heard it. Big up, Freddie. How you doing, my man? Long time no see. Said still so disappointed from yesterday. Why did both Bentancur and Paulina start? Agreed. And that's going to be my last talking point, by the way. That was going to be my last talking point. I said this, and I've said this all summer, and I've said it beginning of this season, right? We need an 8. We need an 8. I think we need a ball playing number 8. When I watch Spurs play, we have no ball player. Sar's not a ball player. Bentancur's too slow at it. Bergval's not a ball player. And when I say a ball player, I mean someone who wants the ball, keeps the game ticking over, sits in that midfield, keeps the game moving. I think we really, really, really need. Right. Sorry, Sam. I think everyone's had enough of you now, mate. I gave you a chance. See you later. You've had. I've been very patient with you today, mate. You've had an hour, and it's now very, very boring. Sorry, mate. See you later. Sorry, everyone. I tried my best. Everyone, to give everyone a second chance. So I think we need an 8. I think we need an 8 massively. Somebody who keeps the game moving over, keeps the game ticking, runs the game for Tottenham Hotspur. No, see, I don't think we do, Carlos. We need a ball-playing number 8. I think we need a ball-playing number 8. Somebody who gets the ball and dictates. We need a Carrick, a Modric. Even somebody like Declan Rice does it for Arsenal. Even an Enzo Fernandez. These people want the ball all the time. They're available for the ball. Get the ball. They know where their next pass is. I don't think we've got that at all. Bergval likes to drive with the ball. Sar, we know, is a box-to-box. Paulinho's your defensive midfielder. We need that guy that keeps the game ticking over. We need a Locatelli. That sort of a footballer. Somebody who wants the ball. Somebody who understands how to keep the game moving. Now, possibly there. Yeah, good. Now, some proper football conversation. Possibly this. Yeah, possibly. Yes, this as well. A Ruben Neves. Yes. Somebody gets it, gives it, receives it again. Look at Modric. Modric made a career of being always available for the ball. Always available. Gives it, drops 2 yards. Yeah, get it back to me. Now I know, as soon as you get it to me, I know my next pass is out there or it's out there. I don't think we've got that. And that's why when people keep saying to me, we've got great midfield options, I don't think we do. I think Paulinho is very good. I think Paulinho is very good. But he's not that ball-playing player. He's your DM, and he's a bloody good DM. So for me, I still think we need that. I still think we need a left winger. I still think we need a striker. I do think as we move next year, we'll need a better goalkeeper. So I just think I think people are over-expecting. And then what they're doing is they're jumping on every time it doesn't well. Oh, my God, we're awful. I wasn't expecting Spurs to be a free-flowing football team with the footballers we've got. The results will be better. We will lose less games. We will concede less goals. I was not expecting us to be a free-flowing team. That doesn't excuse yesterday. Doesn't excuse it. But we've not got the creative 8, a creative winger, or a creative striker. So at the moment, let's see. Yeah, but Leighton, the problem is we know Solanke's, Solanke's okay, right? Madders, he's going to be out for the season. So, look, I think you've got to look forward. I think we've got to look forward. That's what I would say. Alfie has said, question 7, when do we think Kalawani and Solanke will be back? God knows. Who knows? It feels like this has been the longest dead leg ever for Kolo, and Solanke, who had a knock, has missed the entire season so far. So we will see. Money Mace, do you know what? If you even chuck the PSG game in there, it's 1 loss in 9. It's utterly crazy. It's utterly crazy. And the overreaction. But hey, big up to Tony. We got 1 super sticker. We didn't quite have a super sticker train, but we've got Tony there, very generous indeed, always giving me a super sticker. Thank you very much, my man. What I will say is this. Here you go. What I will say is this. We are 1 subscriber away from 23,000. So if in the next 4 minutes before I wrap up the show, if we get that to 23,003, so 4 subs in the next 4 minutes, I will give away 5 memberships. I will give away 5 memberships for free. If we get that to 23,303, and it's just gone down to 22,998. So if we get 5 in the next 4 minutes, then I will give away some memberships because I'm horrible. So let me know if you're not interested. We'll just end the show now, but it is what it is. Let's have a look at some last comments for a few minutes. Big up, Tony. Thank you very much for this, brother. Really appreciate you. Would I ever do FIFA? No, I'm not a FIFA player, I'm afraid. No, I don't. It's not my thing. Each to their own. Each to their own. But no, I wouldn't. There is the link, by the way, for anyone that would like to subscribe in the next 3 minutes. There is the link to subscribe. But we'll be back tonight for the Spurs review, getting a little panel together for you for 7:30. And I guess that leaves me to say, come on, Newcastle, get that win against Arsenal. And we'll see you tonight at 7:30. Hopefully the trolls aren't out in full force. What I will say is I'm going to send you all a big up to Sanctuary 7 with a super sticker. Thank you very much, my man. Really appreciate you, as always, buddy, out there in Dublin, I believe you are, right? No, but when you watch Declan Rice play, he wants the ball. He gets it and he gives it and he goes. So, listen, let's be fair. Declan Rice would be unbelievable in our midfield. Let's not pretend he wouldn't, Earl. Let's not pretend. Guys and girls, I'm going to send you over to Halftime Hooks. When you get over to Hooks, just type in the chat, Savva Raid, away the lads. I'll tell you what's put in. Type in this. Here you go. Hashtag Savva Raid. Hang on. Here you go. Just put in this. Savva Raid. Away the lads. All right. Hashtag Raid. Savva Raid. Away the lads. Just copy and paste that. Go over. Hooks is a good guy as well. So keep it clean. He's a really good content creator. Get over there. Much love. Take care. And as always, come on, you Spurs.